The thrill of victory hung in the air as Lionel Messi and the Argentinian national team celebrated their Copa America triumph. It was a moment that fans had been eagerly awaiting, a culmination of years of hard work, dedication, and passion for the sport. The stadium buzzed with the energy of thousands of jubilant fans. Their cheers echoed through the night, a symphony of joy and pride that resonated far beyond the confines of the stadium. Argentina had defeated their rivals in a thrilling final, and the celebrations were a testament to their hard-fought victory. The players embraced each other, tears of joy streaming down their faces, as they basked in the glory of their achievement. Yet, amidst the euphoria, a dark cloud emerged, casting a shadow over the team's accomplishment. The joyous atmosphere began to shift as whispers of controversy started to circulate. A video surfaced online, quickly going viral and igniting a firestorm of controversy. Social media platforms were flooded with reactions, as fans and critics alike weighed in on the shocking footage. The video depicted Argentinian players, including rising star Enzo Fernandez, participating in a racist chant directed at French players of African descent. The chant, filled with derogatory language and offensive gestures, was a stark contrast to the spirit of sportsmanship that the game is supposed to embody. The joyous occasion was instantly tainted, the celebratory atmosphere replaced with a sense of disgust and disappointment. Fans who had been cheering moments before now looked on in disbelief, their smiles fading as the reality of the situation set in. The incident served as a stark reminder that racism continues to plague the world of football, even in moments of triumph. It highlighted the ongoing struggle to eradicate such behavior from the sport, a battle that requires constant vigilance and effort from all involved. What should have been a time for unadulterated celebration became a moment of reckoning for the sport, forcing a painful conversation about the persistent issue of racism within its ranks. Players, coaches, and fans were compelled to confront the ugly truth that racism still exists, even in the most joyous of times. The incident sent shockwaves through the global footballing community, sparking outrage and igniting a debate about accountability, responsibility, and the urgent need for change. Sports media outlets around the world covered the story extensively, calling for immediate action to address the issue and prevent such incidents from happening in the future. The racist chant, audible in the video footage, targeted French players, particularly those of African descent, with derogatory language and racial slurs. The vile words echoed through the stadium, creating an atmosphere of hostility and division. The words, filled with hate and prejudice, cut deep, striking at the core of human dignity and respect. It was a stark reminder of the deep-seated issues that still plague the sport and society at large. They were a painful reminder of the racism and discrimination that black players and individuals continue to face in football and beyond. The incident highlighted the ongoing struggle for equality and respect in a world that often falls short of these ideals. The chant, broadcast globally through social media, spread like wildfire, reaching every corner of the footballing world and beyond. The rapid dissemination of the footage sparked outrage and a call to action from all corners of the globe. Fans, players, and commentators alike expressed their disgust and condemnation, calling for swift and decisive action against those involved. The collective voice of the football community demanded accountability and change. Football, a sport renowned for its ability to unite people across cultures and continents, was now at the center of a heated discussion about racism and discrimination. The incident forced the sport to confront its own shortcomings and the need for systemic change. The incident served as a stark reminder that the beautiful game is not immune to the ugliness of prejudice and bigotry. It underscored the importance of continued efforts to promote inclusivity, respect, and equality within the sport and beyond. The fight against racism is far from over, and this moment served as a catalyst for renewed commitment to this crucial cause. The immediate reaction to the video was swift and unequivocal: outrage. Fans were visibly upset, their faces reflecting a mix of anger and disappointment. Fans across the globe, including many Argentinian supporters, expressed their disgust and condemnation of the players' actions. The unity among fans from different backgrounds was evident as they stood together against such behavior. Social media platforms were flooded with messages of anger, disappointment, and calls for accountability. Hashtags demanding justice trended worldwide, amplifying the voices of those who felt betrayed by the players' conduct. The consensus was clear: racism has no place in football, and those responsible must be held accountable for their actions. players from various teams showed solidarity, emphasizing the importance of unity and respect in the sport. The incident sparked a broader conversation about the responsibility of players, as role models with immense influence, to use their platforms for good and actively combat racism and discrimination. Many fans and analysts highlighted the need for players to lead by example, promoting positive values both on and off the field. The calls for accountability extended beyond the players themselves to encompass the Argentinian Football Association, or AFA, and its leadership. Critics argued that the AFA's response would set a precedent for how such issues are handled in the future. Many argued that the AFA had a responsibility to address the issue head-on, implement stricter measures to prevent future incidents, and foster a culture of respect and inclusivity within Argentinian football. This included educational programs, stricter penalties, and a zero-tolerance policy towards any form of discrimination. The hope was that these steps would not only address the current incident, but also pave the way for a more inclusive and respectful environment in the sport. In the aftermath of the incident, Enzo Fernandez, one of the players identified as participating in the racist chant, issued a public apology. Fernandez expressed remorse for his actions, acknowledging the hurt and offense he had caused. He stated that his behavior was unacceptable and did not reflect his personal values or beliefs. While Fernandez's apology was welcomed by some as a step in the right direction, others questioned its sincerity and viewed it as an attempt to mitigate the potential damage to his reputation. Chelsea FC, Fernandez's club team, took swift and decisive action, publicly condemning his behavior and emphasizing their zero-tolerance policy towards racism and discrimination. The club imposed disciplinary measures on Fernandez, suspending him for a number of matches and mandating his participation in educational programs focused on diversity, equality, and inclusion. Section 5, Chelsea FC, taking a stand. Chelsea FC, recognizing the gravity of the situation and their responsibility as a leading football club, went beyond simply disciplining their player. The club issued a strong statement condemning all forms of racism and discrimination, reiterating their commitment to creating a welcoming and inclusive environment for all players, staff, and fans. Chelsea also announced a series of initiatives aimed at combating racism within the club and beyond, including partnering with anti-discrimination organizations, implementing educational programs for players and staff, and using their platform to raise awareness about the issue. Chelsea's proactive response was lauded by many as an example of how football clubs can and should address racism within their ranks and use their influence to promote positive social change. Section 6. FIFA launches an investigation. FIFA, the international governing body of football, responded to the incident with a statement condemning the racist behavior and announcing the launch of a formal investigation. FIFA's investigation aimed to gather all the facts and evidence surrounding the incident, including eyewitness accounts, video footage, and statements from those involved. Based on the findings of the investigation, FIFA would then determine the appropriate disciplinary actions to be taken against the individuals and/or the Argentinian Football Association. FIFA's decision to launch an investigation signaled their commitment to taking a strong stance against racism in football and holding those responsible accountable for their actions. The outcome of the investigation was eagerly awaited by the footballing world, as it had the potential to set a precedent for how future incidents of racism would be handled. Section 7. The French Football Federation reacts. The French Football Federation FFF, deeply affected by the racist chants directed at their players, expressed their condemnation and announced their intention to file a formal complaint with FIFA. The FFF deemed the Argentinian players' actions unacceptable and demanded swift and decisive action be taken. The FFF's decision to lodge a formal complaint with FIFA highlighted their commitment to protecting their players from racism and discrimination and their belief that such behavior has no place in football or society as a whole. The FFF's actions sent a strong message of solidarity with their players and a clear signal that they would not tolerate any form of racism or discrimination. Section 8. A history of racism in football. Sadly, the incident involving the Argentinian national team is not an isolated one. Racism has plagued football for far too long, rearing its ugly head in stadiums and online platforms. From racist chants and monkey noises directed at black players to discriminatory abuse on social media, the fight against racism in football is far from over. Past incidents, such as the racist abuse suffered by English players during a Euro 2020 qualifier in Bulgaria, serve as painful reminders of the persistent nature of this issue. The incident involving the Argentinian national team underscored the urgent need for a collective effort from football's governing bodies, clubs, players, and fans to eradicate racism from the sport.